Oh, you know what? I'm glad I got in these yesterday because I don't think you would have been able to caught this. It's pretty fast. Let's talk about yesterday's entry. It was a pretty bad stop loss, but at the same time, you know, it is what it is. I entered around here, stop loss under here. I'm aiming for 1 to 3. And again, what I said about like not considering, oh, on top of, okay, right. So you understand that higher highs, a break of resistance, it counts as 2 bullish candles in a row. So on top of us barely wicking to the 38.2 here, later after the Zoom, after I recorded it, I was like, yo, this is also just a bunch of tested candles. Bullish, bearish, doji, bullish, a bearish doji, bullish, bearish. So even if I wanted to put it here, on the 1 hour, that could be the case, but on the 4 hour, it wouldn't have counted. So again, this is still the fib that we're in to me, all right? And see how, notice how price, you know, bounced up because of course, oh, and then the confidence level for yesterday was, you know, right here. All right, so we bounced into this area, worked it just a little bit more, and I was waiting. I was on the 15-minute waiting for a break of resistance. But man, it happened really fast. So we have a break of resistance based off of this bullish candle and then this bullish candle, you know, bullish, bullish. But I got in maybe around this area because it was going so fast. And you know, this is the times where I'm okay with taking entries on the 1 minute is when I already understand that the 15-minute is making higher highs and higher lows. For example, we had right now with all of this that just happened, obviously I'm expecting a higher low to form. So when and if I see a break of resistance on the 1 minute, or for more clarity on the 5 minute, I feel like that would be a pretty good indication that price is going to continue bullish. However, I don't want to take it up here because, you know, you have this level right here, rejection level. You see these wicks. So if it could come down some, right, maybe use one of these levels of reversal previously to continue. If it's going to come back, you know, it doesn't have to. I'll mark this off. This is the last level we had. But still, I prefer it come down some if I'm going to take in a scaling entry because I would want to take some more entries today, but it just depends on what's happening. Oh, and what I was going to mention about the weekly area. So see how price keeps tapping into this liquidity area? Just comes back in here, uses this area as like a pushing wedge, just like a launch pad because, you know, it's full of orders. That's why I only use my weekly levels. That's the only thing that really makes sense to me, the way I trade, right? So yesterday I realized that in a way I was able to like go like this on the 1 hour and kind of track the fact that, so I'm looking at this little resistance area that was last formed on the 1 hour, and then I was looking at bullish. So I was like, okay, on the 1 hour, we legit broke a resistance level. And I like that because then I was able to put it from the low to the high. And notice how it came to 38.2, came 38.2, body closes. Unlike the situation over here, it was like, if you go on the 5 minute, it barely wicked the 5 minutes. So that's not really what we want to see. Tomorrow is CPI news for the Great British Pound. I feel like if we don't break past this level today, that could be the volatility we need to actually push past this weekly level. You know, that could be the case. So I'm still in buys. My target for buys is point A, point B. My target for buys is up here. So it's looking like a 1 to 3. Yeah, something like that on average. This is kind of what I'm going for right now. I never have a stop loss this big, but at the same time, I'm not about to argue with price. I don't want to have to think when I trade. I have a system that works pretty well. And so I just like to, if I see my setup, just go ahead and take it. No stress. Just let the numbers work for themselves. In regards to gold, oh goody, I might get a good entry. Okay, so the last higher low that we had, the official one, was this 38.2 that was formed last week. And now you can see that price is kind of, not kind of, breaking support, but we also want to see how the next 4 hours close. Even if, you don't wait for the next 4 hours close, I can already tell you that this is looking like, this is what it's looking like. This is what it's doing. So if I were to take a trade around 8 today, I feel like it could be a winner because this would be a PRZ trade. And those are my favorite because they have a really, really high chance of getting to the negative 27% rather than just taking a trade in the middle of the flow or the impulse leg and then having to deal with the actual pullback when it does come. So I can mark off like a confluence level for this. So the minimum 38.2, it already came to it. It could be right here that I want to reject from. It could use, hey, it could even use this level. Because 100%. Oh, and this is a weekly level, right? That's why I have it drawn. Look to the left, you see. Let's see. Even use the top of this right here. This is why I don't like to draw zones too much. It's like, yeah, it could happen from anywhere. It really could. And if for some reason, let's see. We have some news at 8:30 today. Let me write that down so I don't forget. Yesterday's move for gold wasn't that bad. So if I was cool with trading gold, let me just put that this is 30. I like to just, mark off my minimum so that I know. Like 38.2, mark off like 78.6. All right, so yesterday's move now was here. We were maintaining higher lows, so the only thing that we would have been looking for is a break of resistance. And the thing about it, like today, how I said, the 15-minute is already having higher lows. So in this situation, you wouldn't have to wait for 15-minute to break a resistance because the higher lows are already forming. The whole point of waiting for a resistance to break, you're waiting for that whole transition period, right? But in the case where you're already maintaining higher lows on the 15-minute, what do? So an option that I see is when it comes to that, you can really finesse it. These are the times that I feel like I could go onto the 1 minute and actually look for something decent because I don't have to wait for the 15-minute to create higher highs and higher lows. It's already happening. So if the 1 minute is counter trending and going bearish, that's something that I can track. So we see, this is right here. This is when 8 o'clock happens. But as you can see, 1 minute broke support, 1 minute created lower high, and then we have these 1 minute candles that confirm the break of this resistance when it comes to it, right? So, but I would try to be as hands off until after the fact, until after 8, right? So let's see after 8. I see the 15 minutes already making higher lows. I come on and maybe I'm noticing this lower high forming, but I also see that we broke this. So I'm like, okay, cool. Maybe all I gotta wait for is an engulfing candle. Or if I want, I could wait for this candle. I could wait for for a resistance to break 2 on the 1 minute, right? So I have this lower high. I have, in a way, this lower high, but it's just tested because we have bullish and we have bearish. So then we continue, we have this lower high, which also matches up with the previous. Gonna make it nice and thick, right? So we have this lower high, and then the last lower high you have before a break is right here. Then we have bullish, bearish, bullish. At this point, it would really be up to you because the 1 hour already did its part that it needed to do. So easily just waiting for an engulfing could have been an option. All right, I'll put the stop loss right here, and I want to just take it a nice little 1 to 2, or take it at this negative 27%. Would have been easy. Would have been nice. Would have been cute. Would have been nice. So for this situation now, we can't enter based off 1 minute transitions because now we're bearish on the lower time frame. So this is a perfect time where it's just like, this is when you would wait for the 15-minute to actually break, or the 30-minute, right? Because everything's bearish right now. For example, when we did, it's like a situation like this, right? It was breaking, we were coming to a PRZ zone. So you'd be tracking it. All right, lower highs, just tested, lower highs. Now we get what we needed to see. And even though it happened in during London, that's not something I would take because I like to stay after. I like to take my trades after 8. But when 8 o'clock did happen, and I remember I took buys because I wasn't aware that we're just going to our PRZ level. I missed that, so I made sure to mark that down next time. For example, after 8, we see we have a legit break of support. Bearish, and that was my confirmation to enter in for sells. But the current main fib was not bearish, and that's where it got me messed up. However, we have our bullish candles. Oh, on the 30-minute, we didn't even see that. That's another thing to acknowledge. On the 30-minute, higher lows never stop being maintained. So if I wanted to, I could have gone on the 5-minute and waited for a transition because I was like, well, the 30-minute's already in my favor. It's just, there's ways to finesse, but you need to understand when you can and when you can't, and when price is actually ready to be finessed. All right, so bullish, could have entered after here. Stop loss right below here. Could have taken a nice 1 to 2 and 1 to 3, right? So, that's just literally the way I trade. And it's simple, and it has not always been this simple. I so complicated, but we eventually find our grooves in the market. So today for gold, my bias is bullish, but we need to see a break of 30-minute or 15-minute resistance before we actually continue with that. The take profit for when that does happen will be the negative 27% of this current fib. So it'll actually be, not put it here. All right, this can go up here. I believe this negative 27% is this bigger fib that we're talking about. Oh, actually, no, it hit the main fib. Oh, this is the daily fib. Right, but we don't got to go that big. There's a nice level right here. Look at how the daily definitely stopped here. So this is an option. It's an option, and it looks pretty solid. All these are actually. You can see all these on the daily. So these are our most eligible bachelorettes. So we'll go ahead and see what's popping. 15-minute is still, 15-minute high lows are still being maintained. So again, seeing a break of some sort would not be a bad idea to see it on the to look for it on the 5-minute, because we are already currently being maintained on the 15-minute. So happy trading.